Viveka. As I was standing here, I'm thinking like, how should I start? And so this is from chapter 4, text 9. I'm just going to read it to you and read the translation. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yogeti tatvatah tyakvadevam punarjanma naiti mameti swarjana. So Krishna is talking. It's about Krishna actually, that he's hearing about. He says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance, not my appearance, Krishna is talking to Arjuna, so Krishna's appearance, and activities, does not upon leaving the body take his birth again and again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So on the battlefield, Krishna is trying to make Arjuna understand that he's not an ordinary personality. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. And what I like about this verse is the very first word. Janma karma cha me divyam. Everything about Krishna, his birth, his activities, his leaving the planet, everything is divya. Divya means like not ordinary, beyond the ordinary. And so as we celebrate this month of Kartik's coming to an end, sadly, it's like the most exciting month of all the 12 months that we have. And so in the month of Kartik, there are so many festivals. Every day is a festival. Every day something's happening. So we see many festivals in Kartik which we cannot really explain by our normal material intelligence. Right? So many different festivals. Like we celebrated Govardhan Puja. How old are you? 12. 12. So what's your name? Shahil. Do you think Shahil can pick up a mountain? You think you can? Oh, that's great. With Krishna's energy, he will be able to pick up mountains. So we have Krishna who's 7 years old picking up a mountain. Right? So how do you explain that? Holding up a mountain on a little finger on the left hand for 7 days and 7 nights. So we can explain that with our material intelligence, right? We get tired. Even if we pick up a mountain, I don't think we can hold it for 7 days. So we have many such festivals which we can explain. And then in the month of Kartik, every day we sing Damodar Ashtakam. Right? There's nice altar set up there of Lord Damodar. And so this is also known as the Damodar month. So what is the meaning of Damodar? Like some of you may already know all of these things because you've been doing this regularly. But for those who are relatively new or haven't had a chance to hear, Damodar is the name of Krishna and it specifically refers to Dam and Udar. Dam means rope and Udar means abdomen. So this is a story where Mother Yashoda ties Krishna because she is so fed up with him, right? And she ties him to a mortar, ukhar. For those of you who know some Marathi or Hindi or Gujarati. So she ties him to a ukhar. So that is why this altar you'll see is not Radha Krishna altar. It's Mother Yashoda and Damodar. And so what is the meaning of Yashoda? Right? Yash means success or fame. So Yashoda is the person who gives Krishna fame. By these pastimes and the way she takes care of Krishna, she's making people understand that Krishna is so special. So that's why she's known as Yashoda. So she's giving Krishna fame just by being his mother. Right? So that's Yashoda and Damodar. And so in this particular pastime, many divya things happen that you cannot imagine. So Krishna is sleeping, right? Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. We know that from the scriptures and we've studied so much. We've read the Bhagavad Gita and so he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So he's sleeping and Mother Yashoda, now why is he sleeping? Krishna doesn't get tired, right? So there's a contradiction there. That little baby Krishna is sleeping. He's not tired, so why is he sleeping, right? So he's sleeping as a baby does. And then he wakes up because he's hungry. Krishna is Atmaram. Why would he be hungry? He's self-satisfied always. But yet he gets hungry. And so he's looking for his mother because he wants his mother to take care of him. He wants all the attention from his mother. Meanwhile, his mother is preparing butter, she's boiling the milk, and Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's father, has these very special cows. 8 of them. They're called Padmagandha cows. The milk from those cows smells of this special grass that the cows eat. It's called Padmagandha grass. So Gandha is smell, Padma is lotus. So this is a fragrant milk, and that milk only comes to Mother Yashoda's house, and only Krishna is allowed to drink that milk. So it's a very special commodity, right? When we as devotees we go, we want like cheese that's without rennet. It's a special commodity. It's hard to get it, right? So similarly, Krishna also had these things in Vrindavan. So the milk from those cows only came to the house for Krishna, and then Mother Yashoda had many maids because Nanda Maharaj was a king, right, in the Vaishya community. She had many maids to help her to manage the household. But the Padmagandha milk was specifically managed only by Mother Yashoda. Nobody else was allowed to process it. So she was managing the milk, she was heating the milk. Meanwhile, Krishna wakes up, he wants milk, he is grabbing the attention of his mother. So his mother feeds him milk. And when Krishna is drinking milk, he doesn't stop. So he keeps drinking, and Mother Yashoda's milk keeps flowing. Meanwhile, the milk is boiling. How many of you have burnt milk on the gas stove? Yeah, it's like the most horrible smell for forever, right? So the milk starts boiling, and in Vrindavan, remember this is all divya, this is not ordinary. Even the milk has a consciousness. Everything that is serving Krishna has consciousness. So the milk starts to boil. He's saying, what is the use of me being boiling here? Because Krishna is drinking Mother Yashoda's milk. I might as well jump into the fire. Because he's not going to be hungry to drink me. So the milk gets upset and starts to boil and jumping into the fire. And Mother Yashoda obviously smells it. She says, oh my God, the milk is boiling. What does she do? She leaves Krishna on the floor. Now again, this is very contradictory. When you have the Supreme Personality in your lap, you are discarding the Supreme Personality, putting him on the floor, and going to save some milk. So this is very important lesson that Mother Yashoda is teaching. She says sometimes the service becomes more important than directly serving the Lord. Some of us get caught up in our services, deities. We want to worship the deities, nobody else exists. But there's a bathroom to be cleaned, right? So she is showing from this particular pastime that you may have Krishna sitting in your lap, but the milk still needs to be protected. So she puts Krishna there and runs off into the kitchen to save the milk that is boiling over, because it's a special milk. If she doesn't protect that milk, how is she going to make sweets for Krishna? How is she going to make maybe gulab jamuns for Krishna? So she's thinking again of serving Krishna. She's protecting the milk because that's a special milk. So she's thinking of serving him even when he's sitting on her own lap. And she's serving him with her own milk. So these are like many occurrences that happen in this month that makes us wonder that this is not ordinary, this is all divya, right? So then the pastime goes, he gets upset. Now how can Krishna get upset? So how can Krishna get angry? Because anger is a material quality. You and me get angry at small things. Even if somebody plays kartal in the wrong beat, Pragma will get angry. Right? She's a musician and a physician. So we get angry with so many things. Somebody takes your parking spot, or somebody parks the car so close to you that you cannot take it out. Every little thing can give you angry. Vijay Prabhu gets angry at many things. It's hard to keep him pleased, right? So, but anger is a material quality. Yes, Girnita Prabhu never. So, but then we see Krishna is getting angry, and he is so angry that he does destructive stuff, breaking pots, stealing the butter, He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why he needs to steal? Everything belongs to him. Right?
Yes.
So if you don't look at these pastimes carefully, that's why the knowledge is important. That's why we have all these discourses and classes, and Prabhupada has written so much. His disciples are giving so many explanations, classes, writing books, so that we can understand all these important nuances. Otherwise we'll say, yeah, Krishna was a boy, he was so destructive, he didn't listen to his mother. All these little kids are going to say, okay, I'm going to also break the pots and the dishes at home. Because Krishna did it. But the anger that Krishna shows is different than the anger that we experience. So nevertheless, she gets so upset with him. So here is a mother getting upset at a child. So the one thing that the Acharyas has explained, Krishna has many different potencies or Shaktis. One of them is called Leela Shakti. Leela means pastime. Okay? Why are they called pastimes? We say time pass, right? In the material, I'm just like doing time pass. We say that at least in India. But these are not time pass. This is a pastime. Pastime means things that happen that you cannot explain with material intelligence. Those are called Leelas. Krishna is dancing in the forest with hundreds of gopis. That's the Rasa Leela. That's a pastime. Why is it a pastime? Because he's expanded himself so that each gopi feels that Krishna is only dancing with her. Which we can, how many of you must have seen these videos of garbas on the Facebook here, there, people posting on their Instagram. I don't see like one person dancing with everybody. That's time pass, what they're doing. But when Krishna dances in the forest with hundreds and thousands of gopis, each gopi has their own Krishna. Is that possible? Only for Krishna, right? Only Krishna can do it. So that's why it's called a pastime. So always remember the meaning of pastime. We use it very casually, this is his Leela, that is his Leela. No, but what does it mean? Leela means you cannot do it. So here are all these energies, and so there is one called Leela Shakti. So this Leela Shakti is responsible for allowing all these pastimes to happen. So when Krishna is a baby, Leela Shakti makes him forget that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore he interacts with Mother Yashoda exactly like a child would interact with his mother. But he has all the potencies. He can do anything he wants, but this Leela Shakti makes him actually forget. So that he can have these relationships, which is what he really wants, to have these special relationships with several devotees. So similarly, this Leela Shakti is actually making Krishna think he's a baby, he's hungry, he's angry, he needs to do something to destroy and get his mother's attention, right? Otherwise people will say, what is this? How can he be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? His mother is running after him with a stick. So again, Acharyas explain this, and it's important. They say that there are millions of, thousands of yogis sitting in the Himalayas trying to chase after Krishna. They are doing so much austerity and penances, but they cannot catch Krishna. Meanwhile, here is a mother. She's not a very slim woman. Yashoda was never like a slim, trim, athlete. Yet she's like running after him, in a sari with a kind of a whipping stick in her hand and trying to catch him. And he allows her to be caught. How? Because nobody can catch Krishna, but Mother Yashoda is running at a very slow speed and catching him. So this is Krishna's is allowing her to be caught. And why does he allow? Why does he allow devotees to catch him? Anybody?
Bhakti.
Love.
Love.
Bhakti is a term that you don't know. You don't know, okay, I perform bhakti. What does that mean, right? So we use all these like terminologies, but we need to understand I want to do bhakti. I mean, what do you want to do? What is a practical application of wanting to do bhakti? Right? It's a very important word. It's a very powerful word. I'm practicing bhakti yoga. Means what? What exactly are you doing? Are you still getting angry? Yes. That's not bhakti yoga. Right? It's a process. It's a ladder. One day we talk about the yoga ladder. how we gradually progress to Bhakti Yoga. So anyway, Krishna is looking for love. He's having all these interactions because he's looking for love, right? And so then he allows her to catch, she binds him, and then you know the whole story. And that's what the Sathyabama Muni is actually explaining in the Damodar Ashtakam, right? What is the first word? Nama Ishwaram. Nama means Nama, right? Nama. Ishwar, he's already establishing that Devi Krishna is Ishwar. Ishwar means the original personality of Godhead, right? And Satchit Ananda Rupa, he's qualifying. Whenever we describe something, you have to give qualifiers. You know, I am a tall, handsome man. These are qualifiers. Or I am a physician. Or I am a mother. Like we are giving qualifiers, describing who we are. So here he is establishing this is Ishwar and he is Satchit Anand. Anybody can say I am Ishwar. I am God, you are God, everybody is God. You know, ultimately we are parts and parcels. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mama Vamsha Jiva Loke. We are all fragments of Krishna. So I am also Krishna. No, but you have to be Satchit Anand. Anybody who says that I am God, you ask, do you go to the dentist? If they say yes, then it cannot be God. How can you get tooth decay? Right? So Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat means eternal, Chit means full knowledge, Anand means bliss. So these three qualities are in full potency in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We all have a part of it. We have some permanence in this lifetime. We have some degree of knowledge, material and spiritual. And from time to time we are happy. Not continuously happy. Krishna is continuously happy. Bliss is like not even just happiness. So he says, Namaishwaram Satchit Ananda Rupam. This is his Rupa, this is qualifying, this is his form, right? Lasat Kundalam Gokule, Lasat Kundalam, he is wearing shark-shaped earrings. And the important thing explained here is, why do we wear jewelry? We wear jewelry to make ourselves look beautiful. And we wear matching jewelry, matching clothes, matching purse, like, you know, gold, sometimes we wear pearls. Even men wear jewelry, fancy glasses. It's all jewelry, right? Makeup. So we use it to enhance our beauty. But here is explaining that the beauty of the jewelry gets enhanced because they are on Krishna. The jewels are shining because they are on Krishna. In one pastime, the gopis come and tell Mother Yashoda, we are tying our butter in dark rooms so that Krishna doesn't come there. But he comes there and his jewels are shining so much that the whole room lights up. So then Mother Yashoda says, okay, so from tomorrow, I won't put any jewels on Krishna, so that he doesn't come into your room. She's like fed up. Constant complaints. Imagine you're getting complaints from school every day. Right? So she's okay, from tomorrow, no jewelry. Only clothes. They said, no, it will make no difference because his body is only effulgent. Even if you don't put jewels, he comes into the room, everything lights up. So the jewels are getting, their beauty is getting enhanced by them being put on Krishna. So the Lasat Kundalam, that's what he's saying. So these shark-shaped earrings are becoming brightened because of these kundals. Like these kundals are getting brightened because of they're on Krishna's cheek. Can you imagine? So close to Krishna. Gokule Brajamanam. So he says in Gokul Brajamanam. He's giving pleasure to all the people in Gokul. That's where he is living right now. Right? And so then it goes on. It's like keeps going with all the description of how Krishna is, what he does, how his eyes are. Each line has a significance. This is a very important description. So we just sing it because we like the tune. Somebody likes the fast tune, somebody likes the slow tune. We sing it, but it's very important that when we read bhajans, when we sing bhajans, we actually need to understand what they mean, because it's education. You have to understand the meaning. So such many different things happen in the month of Kartik, which we are celebrating now. And we have 2 more days left. So it's a nice meditation. And so the other thing that we celebrated yesterday was Tulasi Vivaha. I don't know if anybody had a chance to celebrate that, but some devotees, some temples will celebrate Tulasi Vivaha. So just as these kundalas are sitting in Krishna's ears, the shark-shaped earrings, there's always Tulsi Maharani at the feet of Krishna. Right? So Viveka wanted me to touch upon a little bit about the importance of Tulsi. You know, we did Tulsi Aarti before. We always perform before our programs in our houses. We have Tulsi Maharani. So Tulsi Maharani has a very unique story, and it's actually very complicated. The story is very complex. And I was trying to figure out like where should I start telling the story. So then I decided, okay, Janma Karma Me Divyam, let's stick to that. So when Krishna decides that he's going to descend on earthly planet, you know, we are all very fortunate amongst all the planets and all the billions of universes and the entire material manifestation, we get to have birth on the same planet that Krishna was actually walking on maybe 5,500 years ago. What is the chance, like how special we are? That's Divya, our lives are so Divya because we are here, and not only that, many of us have had a chance to even visit Vrindavan. So when Krishna decides to come to the planet, all of his entourage, his whole team descends. The team comes before him to set up. Because Krishna's time is very precious. Krishna doesn't have time. He doesn't have like waking up 1 hour late today and yesterday he slept like at a different time and today we are at a different time. All this thing only happens on Earth, like material planets. In the spiritual world, there's a very important sentence that I always like to say is, the time is felt by, you know, is conspicuous by its absence. Nothing ages in the spiritual world. The time just exists. Here, every second we are getting older. Every second, even as we speak, we are getting older and older and older. But in the spiritual world, the time is conspicuous. How is it conspicuous? By not being there. Sometimes the absence is more important than presence. Right? Like Mother Dwarka is not here. That absence is more powerful than when she was actually here. So similarly, in the spiritual world, the time is absent. It exists, but not as we experience here. So anyway, so when Krishna decides to go, all of his things, all of his entourages decide, okay, I have to go. So Vrunda Devi, which is Tulsi Maharani, known as Vrunda Devi in the spiritual world, is also existing in the spiritual world eternally. She comes down to the earthly planet million years before Krishna comes. And she's born to a king called Kerkara, and there she performs 60,000 years of austerity, harsh austerity. And so Lord Shiva is pleased with her and he says, okay, what do you want? And like, you know, he says, I'm so pleased with your austerity that the place where you performed austerity is purified. And whoever performs austerity in this particular land that you have been performing austerity will get more benefit. And which is that land? Vrindavan. So the place where Tulsi Maharani performed 60,000 years of austerity, she is the place of Vrindavan. So she prepared the land. Then in the next life, she again comes as a daughter of a king and again performs austerity, further purifying that place. And then eventually when actually Krishna arrives, Vrindavan is also known as Vrindavan because of Vrunda Devi. Right? Everything in Vrindavan is owned by Vrunda Devi. There is one story where she actually offers everything to Srimati Radha, and that's how Radha becomes like the queen of Vrindavan. But actually everything was originally owned by Vrunda Devi, which is Tulsi Maharani. And then there are these vanas, Vrindavans. They are not like ordinary forests. There are 12 forests which are also taken care by Vrunda Devi. They are on the east bank and the west bank of river Yamuna, right? So she's managing all these affairs in Vrindavan. That's what she does. And eventually, when Krishna and Srimati Radha arrive and take birth and actually come in Vrindavan, and remember Govardhan also comes how Vrunda Devi came before. Govardhan also leaves. Radharani says, "I will not come, Krishna, to the material world on the earthly planet. If I don't have Govardhan, what will I do? I need all the stuff that grows on Govardhan, a place to hang out. So I need Govardhan. So you please send Govardhan first." So Govardhan leaves, and then we have the story. We cannot talk about that. How he comes and he sets himself in Vrindavan, and so then he comes there before they arrive also. So all these things are happening, and so then Vrunda Devi also appears as a gopi, one of the maid servants of Srimati Radha. And her job is to arrange, she's like a party planner. Okay? She has to arrange where they meet, how it should be decorated, what food they should eat, when they should eat the food, so which time they want to serve the entrees, when is it going to get a full meal, when is it going to get snack. She arranges all that. Then she also has 2 spies. You know who the spies are? The 2 parrots. So there are 2 spies. So why there are 2 spies? One is for Jatila, who is Srimati Radha's mother, and the second one is Chandravali, who is the rival. She's like the anti-Radharani team. There are 2 teams in Vrindavan. One is the gopis that are gopis of Srimati Radha, and the other one are gopis that hang out with Chandravali. And if you put Chandravali and Srimati Radha side by side, it's like having a mirror. They look identical. Yes. So they are like equally but Srimati Radha is Radha. And so there's like this constant fight between the 2 teams. This is we call it rasa. Sometimes husband might fight, we say, oh, that's rasa, that's like our relationship. We fight about some specific things. So that's all material world. But even in the spiritual world, there is like this competition constantly. Who is going to get Krishna's attention? On which day? Which forest? Where? Right? So this is Chandravali and Srimati Radha. And so, actually, just diverting a little bit. So Chandravali is always upset because Krishna is always with Srimati Radharani, right? That clock is corrected on the wall. Okay, I'm watching it. So she once complains to Krishna, what is this? My team is equally good, and we also equally, want to love you and serve you. How come you're always giving Radha the primary thing? I'm very sad, and Krishna doesn't like sad devotees. So he says, you know what, I give you a boon. That when I come in my Dwarka Leela, you will be my primary queen. Okay? And then Radha will be the secondary queen. So in the Dwarka Leela, Rukmini actually represents Chandravali. And Radharani comes as Sathyabama, always creating trouble. Right? The competition. So he gives her that boon, that Chandravali will come as a primary queen, which is Rukmini, in Dwarka Leela. So there's so many side stories. But anyways, getting back to where we were, all these people, they come like devotees of Krishna, they come. So Vrunda Devi is in charge of organizing all the affairs of Vrindavan, and she works with Purnamasi, who's another devotee. And they together, and this is all confidential. So she has these Jatila and Chandravali parrots who they are put at strategic positions. As soon as they see, they have to alert Vrunda Devi. And then Vrunda Devi is going to make sure that Krishna and Radha are not caught. Okay, they have to go back to their own thing, like Nandagram and Rava, they have to run off to different places. And how they travel, that's like a whole different, I really shouldn't get into it. Because they are different places. If you have traveled to Vrindavan, they are like far apart, but yet these people are reaching there in like instants. So how does that time travel occur in Vrindavan? That's a different shape of the dham is such that they can go from point A to point B. They just have to crossover. It's like a lotus flower. So they just jump from one petal to another. Okay, very esoteric. So these are these two parrots, and so she's watching. And then her job also is to make sure that when the night is over, they wake up on time and go to their houses. So nobody has to be late for their services or their presence in home. So this is a very intimate role that Mother like Vrunda Devi plays in Vrindavan, and that's why it's known as Vrindavan. She's like the most important personality, and without serving her or without acknowledging her, we cannot enter Vrindavan. We cannot experience the mood of Vrindavan. And then there is coming back to the Tulasi Vivaha story. So when she comes in the previous, like I said, she appears as daughters of different kings. She has always been performing austerity, like tap and penances, because she wants Lord Vishnu as her husband. Okay? Even when she was in Vrindavan, there is one story that she is very attracted to Krishna. But obviously, that's not her role there. Her role is to serve Radha and Krishna. But there is a pastime where she has this desire, and so there lots of things happen because of that. But when she appears as a princess and performs this austerity, she's performing this austerity to get Krishna or Vishnu as her husband. So that's gone ongoing, and when she gets a boon that this will happen to you. Meanwhile, as a princess, she's told that there is this other king. His name is Shankachuda. Okay, so he is actually also from Krishna Lila, Sudama, and he wanted to marry Tulsi, like Vrunda Devi. He was very attracted to, so he does austerity, that he should get Vrunda Devi as a wife. Okay, and then he does something that upsets Srimati Radha. She curses him that you're going to be born as a demon. So he ends up coming to the material world and born as a demon. And in that life, Tulsi Maharani, like Vrunda Devi and Shankachuda get married. And there were very nice, stories about them, how they spend their time and everything. So this is happening. In meanwhile, this Shankachuda is so powerful because he's received boon from Shiva. Shiva is always a troublemaker. Sadashiv, it's very easy to please him. Ashutosh, that's the name of Lord Shiva. Ashutosh means who can be easily pleased. We are never easily pleased. But Shiva, you do a little bit of penance, you wear white clothes on Monday, you go to worship and you offer some milk, this, that, he gets pleased. What do you want? Money? Yeah. What do you want? Job? Take. I want to live forever? Okay, take. He's given so many such boons to these demons. So here this Shankachuda does austerity, and he says, I want to rule over the world. I want to defeat all the demigods. He says, okay, take this. This is a nice pendant. You can wear it, and as long as you're wearing it, nobody can defeat you. So he rules the whole world. So then what happens? The demigods, as always, they go running to Brahma. Brahma says, I cannot do anything. Let's go to Shwetadeep. Let's pray to Vishnu. So this is their triage system. Whatever happens, they go to Brahma. Brahma says, I cannot do anything. I can only create people. I cannot solve any, problems or conflicts. He's not very good with conflict resolution. But he says, I know how to chant the Purusha Sukta. Let's go to the Shwetadeep. So understand, when they go to meet Vishnu, it's not like they can walk in. For us, we just leave our chappals there and walk in and we can see Krishna. This is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. But when these demigods, devatas and Brahma go to meet Vishnu, they have to stand at the gate. Then Brahma has to sing the Purusha Sukta prayers. That's what the Purusha Sukta prayers are. Brahma chanting the prayers to Lord Vishnu, that praising him. Then Vishnu realizes, people are waiting, let me see what they want. Then there's a dialogue. They don't see him face to face. He's there with Lakshmi Devi. They are not allowed to go in. Right? It's not easy. That's why there's a difference between Vaikunta Lok and Golok. easy access. Devotees are playing with Krishna. They are eating food from his hand. His relationships. So it's very much higher than awe and reverence, standing and chanting Purusha of the prayers. Right? So then Vishnu said, no problem, I will go. He tells Shiva, here's my trident. That's how Shiva gets the trident. Take this trident, the Trishul. Go and battle with Shankachuda. I will come, and Krishna is always tricking people. He's the biggest cheat. Makhan chor, right? He's stealing butter. And my mother Yashoda asked him, why? Who's stealing my butter? So she says, the one who made it. So he's not lying, but he doesn't say, I stole it. So she gets very mad at him. Right? So she says, why are you throwing butter? Not only is he giving it to the monkeys, he's throwing it around everywhere. So he says, no, it's mine, so I can do anything I want. So he's giving such answers to Mother Yashoda. So anyways, Vishnu gives him the trident, says, go have a war. I will come there as a Brahmana. Shankachuda is like a very pious demon. He will give me what I ask. And I will ask for that necklace. Once I get the necklace, you can kill him. So all this happens. So the war goes on. So many people come and try to defeat him. Even like Kartikeya comes. Who's Kartikeya? Anybody knows? Son of Shiva. Right? Older son of Shiva. How does Kartikeya travel? Anybody knows? On a peacock. Okay, good. And so he comes. Shankachuda defeats him. Kali herself comes. Parvati, in the form of Kali. Horrific war they have. She's like eating demons with her mouth. You know how Kali is. Nothing happens. She has to go back, and they all go back and report to Shiva. We can't do anything. Meanwhile, finally the Brahmana comes, tricks Shankachuda, gets his necklace, and then the next time the war ensues. But Shiva actually tells him, this is what is happening. Your role, your body here now is finished. You need to go back to the spiritual world because you're actually Sudama. You need to go back. So Shankachuda is very enlightened. Not like an ordinary demon that is performing war in one part of the world trying to kill the other country. Those are demons. Not thinking of anybody. That war is useless. So that pastime is happening on one side in the war. Then what Vishnu does is he takes that necklace and it's like late in the day. He goes to meet Vrunda Devi. And she thinks her husband has come back. Okay? And so she welcomes him, and somehow, Krishna can make him look like anything. So they spend time together, he stays there at night. Next morning, Vrunda Devi wakes up and she says, hang on, this doesn't seem like usual to me. Who is this man? And then she looks at him and she says, you're not Shankachuda. Right? This is like a soap opera happening right there. And so he says, then she gets very upset. And she says, who are you? I'm a chaste wife and I worship my husband and blah, blah. And she just loses her mind on putting it in the words that scriptures don't talk like that. But so then he shows his beautiful Vishnu form and says, you were praying that, I should be your husband. No, what's your problem? Right? So then he explains to her nicely that, Shankachuda, his role is over. He prayed, he wanted you as his wife. That boon was satisfied. Now the pastimes are coming to an end. Your boon also has to be satisfied. And that's why I came here. And I'm very sorry that it offended you. But I needed to satisfy, because Shiva said, yes, you'll get Vishnu. So I have to listen to what my devotees say. If devotees say that Krishna will help you, then I have to help. So then he said, that's why I came. But she says, no. I'm cursing you. Your heart is of a stone. You're going to become a stone. And he becomes Shaligram. Okay? So that's how Shaligram is formed. She curses Vishnu to become a stone. Okay? And he understands that she's angry. And he says, okay, I accept your curse. But your time here is finished. You're going to have to leave your material body, go back into the spiritual world. And your body will remain as the Gandaki river. Okay? And Gandaki river flows high up in the north, in the Nepal, that area. And he says, I will stay close to the Gandaki river so that we can be together. So all the Shaligram Shilas are found in the Gandaki river. And when the stones from there fall into the river, they become Shaligram Shilas. And then there is a description of different types of Shaligram Shilas, which we have a expert sitting here, Shaligram expert sitting in the background, that when the worms go into the stone, they carve like these round circles. And some have one circle, some have two circles, some have a wide mouth. There are like many descriptions of different types of Shaligram Shilas. And in the Quran, Vishnu actually explains, he actually tells what are the different types of, if they have two circles, then I will be called this. If I have a wide mouth, I'll be called Ugra Narshinga, Shaligram, and so on and so forth. And we have some devotees in Toronto and neighborhood areas who are like quite serious worshippers of Shaligram Shilas. So we know some of them. And so then he becomes Shaligram, she becomes Gandaki river. He also gives her a boon that you will also remain in the material world as a plant, which is Tulsi Maharani, so that devotees can worship you. Right? And so this is the story of the Shaligram and Tulsi Devi. And so we celebrate Tulsi Vivaha as a wedding between Tulsi and Shaligram. So let's worship with Shaligram. So those who worship Shaligram definitely do perform that, celebrate that festival. So that's the background of the Tulsi Vivaha, and it occurs in this month of Kartik also, in the Bhishma Pancham, just before, 2 days before the actual Purnima, right? Because we celebrate Purnima, Sharad Purnima to the next Purnima. On the Indian calendars, they worship according to the dark period, so it will go up to Amasa, Kartik. Like Maharashtra, where I come from, Kartik goes on till from Amasa to Amasa. But on the Gaudiya, our Vaishnava calendar, we celebrate it from Purnima to Purnima, which is fine. So we just celebrate 15 days extra at home, which is fine, right? So that's the story. And then there's another story when I remember I told you that Tulsi gets attracted, Vrunda Devi is also attracted towards Krishna. All the gopis are, right? And so Radharani gets upset with her. And so they have like a little fight. And so Vrunda Devi disappears. She disappears from Vrindavan, and nobody can find her. And so Krishna is also looking for her. And then he actually has to go and perform austerity. He has to perform penances to actually have to please her and have her come. And so when she arrives, she falls in the feet of Lord Krishna, and she's like very emotional. And then the whole thing happens, and there's a reconciliation between Radha and the other gopis, and Vrunda Devi, they all get back together. But at that time, he says that this place, like my foot, my feet, you will always be there. So when we offer Tulsi, it always offer to we don't put it on the crown, we put it on the feet. And he says that no, you will not have any other place, you just be always there. So we never offer Tulsi to anybody else. No other, even Radharani's feet should not have Tulsi. Sometimes we have lots of Tulsi in the house, we offer it here, everywhere. No, it's only meant for Krishna's feet. We don't offer it anywhere else. And so that is a very special position of Vishnu and Tulsi, like the Tulsi is over. Even Lakshmi Devi has to leave sometimes. When she's on the chest, right? She's sitting there on the chest, massaging the feet and doing all kinds of services. She also sometimes has to leave Narayan to go and take care of her devotees who are praying for her. But not Tulsi Maharani. Tulsi Maharani has no other business. Her place is in the feet. So even when Lakshmi Devi leaves, Tulsi Maharani is still in the feet of Vishnu. And there are so many instances, like Krishna himself plants Tulsi, worships Tulsi. Right? Lord Ram plants Tulsi by Sharyu river and is worshipping Tulsi Maharani. Mother Sita, when she's separated from Ram and she's sitting in Sri Lanka, not Sri Lanka, Ceylon, whatever it was called, Lanka, she is also meditating on Tulsi Maharani. So there are many such scriptural evidences where the position of Tulsi Maharani is established. And the leaves, the flowers, the wood, the bark, the root, every part of Tulsi is important. Every single part. So everything should be carefully taken care of. Sometimes we have multiple Tulsis and then it just becomes too much. There's leaves everywhere. There's manjaris everywhere. The seeds are falling everywhere. It's hard to manage at home. But just remember that every part of Tulsi is important, particularly the wood. Right? So in the month of Kartik, actually when we offer the lamp, if you put a Tulsi wood in it, you get, it's like offering million lamps. So my mother-in-law usually will make, the dried twigs or sometimes Tulsi leaves, the body. So she'll make like these wicks from small Tulsi sticks. And so we offer those sticks wrapped with cotton. And that's offering one Tulsi stick as a lamp it's like offering 1 million lamps. Can you imagine the benefit of Tulsi Maharani? One piece of wood, if you put in somebody's, cremation fire, that one wood will take you to the spiritual world. Remember that. As a devotee, that's one service you can do.
Yeah.
If you go for anybody's funeral,
Yeah.
take a piece of Tulsi Maharani with you and just leave it. As like they are going to go directly to the spiritual. Yeah, their purification will go on, but they will be taken care of. When we put Tulsi in the neck, Yamaraj cannot come. There's so many stories. Like they went with Tulsi, you can go. Only Vishnudutas can come and get you. So that's another thing. And then we have the story of the four Kumaras. Four Kumaras were very knowledgeable, but they were Mayavadis, impersonalism. They didn't believe in the form of Vishnu. So they say, okay, let's go and see what is happening in Vaikuntha. Who is this Vishnu? Very learned, four Kumaras. So they go and they get stopped at the gate. And while they are standing there, what do they smell? Yes, the manjaris that were offered to Vishnu, they just get a little smell. Just from that smell, they get transformed. So the smell of Tulsi is also auspicious. Sometimes when the manjaris are flowering, you can smell. What happened?
Put him on the floor, flat. Move the chairs, move the chairs. Hare